Alright, hi guys, Coach EmilZy here. I'm sitting here with Adam, Hi Rez APC. How are you today?
Hey, I'm great. I just finished the play-ins, and we now have our 6 teams, so I'm excited. I can't wait to start the Pro League.
Yeah, alright, so today guys, I'm gonna go over with APC of like 6 teams that's in the Pro League right now. And of course, opinion of who do you think is the hottest player without a team right now that could be joining a team or something, okay? So, let's start here, I think we should start with the all-time favorites. Let's start about the new C9. So they have a roster right now, which is what's his face? It's NQ, it's Youngbei, EmilZy, Optics, and I can't remember the last person.
I can't remember either. I could pull it up real quick too.
Mhm.
He's been talking to me about it. But Optics is a name that we haven't
Oh
seen
yeah,
in a little while.
it's High Rock, right?
And oh, that's right. High Rock will be in there. That's right.
So what APC? What is your thoughts on this team?
It's going to be interesting because, as I just mentioned, we have Optics, who wasn't like he was part of the scene for a while, but hasn't shown his face really like in the top tier teams in the past. I don't know, since the beginning of 2014 even. So I'm curious to see how he is in general. High Rock he seems like he's been going around for different teams and just always floating around. So it'd be cool to see if this is the right team for him. Young
Yeah.
Bay, NQ, solid players without a doubt, top of their game for their positions. So I'm curious. I don't think it's going to be the same Cloud9 that was the one that we saw back at the launch tournament or the LAN back in July.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they have potential. I'm not going to say top. I don't think they're going to be the best team that comes out. They're going to be slow in the beginning, progress forward, and will they be a top 4 that makes it automatically to the next LAN? Maybe.
I would say it's really interesting, right? Because the reason why C9 broke up was that they thought we're not going anywhere with this roster. We need to make something happen. We just got the 4th place. It's really hard. They split up and they actually reformed the team, right? Because they all disbanded, and then Youngbei, I think you said, "Oh, screw it, alright, we're just gonna make a new team and pull guys
Yeah.
in." And funny enough, that's like 3 of the old Coast guys. And I always thought that Optic is like one of the best mechanical players in the game.
Right, yeah.
But the team part play, a lot of people have been talking about it might not be the best team player. But definitely, if he can get the synergy with his team, I think C9 is gonna look really strong. Also, if EmilZy, he has been pretty BM, but lately he's actually been a pretty nice guy.
Well, that's one thing. It's like if BM is a problem, then we might not see him in the league. You know, we're going to be really on top of this kind of stuff in the next for the remainder of the year, really. But like you said, it's you can't. There's players that are very good at the game, but they also, in certain situations, just fall apart. It's a matter of if the team can handle that or accommodate for those kind of issues for that player, which is why I think, you know, if you have someone like High Rock, which he can make solid plays, but there's other times where he makes the wrong play. Is Cloud9 going to be a team that can help him out? It seemed like in Coast, it just wasn't working out for them, which is why they disband. Now you see them on Exposed Secrets, or you know, High Rock, like I said, is now onto his own thing. That's where I see it the most. Like the biggest challenge that Cloud9 needs to overcome is just knowing each other's flaws and then being able to work with each other through them. And with the 7-week schedule that they have, they have the time to do it, and they have the players to do it. It's just a matter if they have the discipline to make it happen.
Alright, so that's like C9. I think they will go top 4, but I think they, like you said, they're gonna get a slow start. So let's move on to the second seed, I believe. That's TSM. They've always been around. Probably had a pretty bad LAN in July. But I think my thought with TSM is just so consistent players, and they've been around for such a long time. And you know, somehow TSM is always gonna get on top of their game when they need to. The LAN was good, but you didn't qualify for anything. There was pretty much money and saying thank you for participating in the tournament.
That's right.
And meeting up, and it was really cool. But I think they're like a really strong contender to the first seed, because they've been looking really strong lately in ranks and stuff.
I'd have to agree. Like, even though their performance wasn't their best at the LAN, I think part of that has to do with, like, what do we have to lose at this LAN? Let me sure we can make a lot more money if we come in first place. But it wasn't like this $600,000 tournament coming up that they need to be, like, at the top of their game no matter what the circumstance is. So I think that was a big part of what happened in July. But as you mentioned, they've been part of the game for a long time. They've been playing together for a while. They're very close. I mean, even Q over Fred and Trix Tank, just they're close with each other in real life, in person. And then you have a coach like Zimstar available and a sub. Like if someone's not there, they have a sub available. That's going to be a big thing too that teams are going to need for the Pro League because you have a lot of games to complete. So I think with all that put together and them, as long as they just keep playing the game, I feel like they're going to be a top 3, top 2 team in the Pro League for the European scene. Easily said.
Yeah, I think that's pretty right. And I think somehow TSM is gonna make it to the regionals, and I think somehow from there they're probably also gonna qualify. They're just always around.
They definitely have it, and it just seems like even when they fall back, it's like a cog, if you will. Some digs at time as well, where it's like, wow, they're not doing well in the very beginning, the first 15-20 minutes of the game, but it just takes that one crucial team fight that you get the Fire Giant and you push. And TSM, I think, is the the marker for that in Europe. So you can never ever count them out.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so that's all those like TSMs. We predict them to be top 2, top 3. So I want to save us for the last. So let's go on to SK. SK Gaming won the LAN on there. It showed really strong performance.
Yeah.
And are they able to take this performance into the Pro League? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a big part of them. Like I think it's a team synergy thing. They're all excellent players. In the very beginning of the SK round regime, if you will, in the beginning of the qualifiers, they were just not placing at a good spot. They lost the first round to, was it I5 or yourselves? Did you?
I think I can't remember. It's
the first week they got eliminated in the first round.
Yeah.
It was either I5 or yourself, the Coast. And then they got stuck in the seed where they had to play TSM like 5 times each and every week. And I think that only helped them. As much as it sucked for them the first 5 weeks, it helped them because that day that they overcome the team of TSM, they came in first. I think it was week 6, maybe week 7. And then after that, they were coming in the top 3 each and every game. And that's each and every tournament. And that right there was like, this is the SK that we expect to see. This is what we wanted to see. They come all the way up, and boom, they made it to the 4th seed, beating I5 for that tiebreaker. Come into LAN, they get really disciplined, then they go to boot camp, and look what happens when you practice, get disciplined, and have motivation. You come in first place against the best teams. They win against you, and they win against TSM. No, not TSM, sorry, Cloud9. And that right there was like an eye-opener, I think, for a lot of people. But at the same time, I think this is what we expected from them. It's just, there they are. So to push it towards the Pro League, I think as long as SK keeps their team synergy together and they don't get down on themselves like they didn't before, as long as they don't get down on themselves for losing a game or 2 in the beginning of the season, I think they could be a top 3 team. I can't say top 2. I'm going to say top 3, and I expect to see them in the November LAN.
Okay. I think it's like, if they keep this consistency and this discipline and synergy they took from the LAN, I think you're right. They're definitely going to be a top 3 contender. And they're just a really solid team, right? They had a lot of roster changes, but now they kind of got their roster. Okay, so we're gonna go with Maniac. I think it was
Zeros.
Yes, and Zeros. And let's stay with this. And it's really working out for them. And then they have Captain Twig, who's always been an amazing player, and now Reels has like lately has just been performing really well.
Absolutely. When I talk to him too, he's very motivated. He's taking more of the leadership role. I've seen him grow from like the launch tournament, which Reels wasn't the guy I was talking to. I can't remember who was the leader of the captain of SK at the time.
Was that?
But he's really. I'm sorry.
Nothing.
Okay, but he grew up into this role, and he's really taking this seriously. And I think that's making him grow as a bigger player. And Maniac and Zeros is just like, watching them play in person is like they are very mechanically fine-tuned. So I think stuff like that will be very beneficial for them as long as they, again, keep it.
Yeah. All right, so moving on, we have this new team that's been crushing in the qualifiers, Walk It Off. They went 5-1, right?
Yeah, they lost their first game today.
Yeah, that was they lost to Exposed Secrets, right?
That's right. No, Agilitas, sorry.
Oh, well,
they lost to Agilitas.
Yeah, that's right. I think Walk It Off have so much potential. They have one of the best ADCs in the world. Mox is just a beast.
He's a beast.
They have the former C9 player Sayo, who has so much potential to grow in the solo lane. He has been proving us that he can play different guards to a really high level in the solo lane, and if he just keeps growing, he can get a really good solo laner. And it's gonna be funny to see him compete with the other solo laners like Game Hunter, Variety, and NQ and Maniac. It's gonna be like weird.
I love that lineup.
Yeah, it's like so many really amazing solo laners you have
Yeah.
right there. And then you have like Fresi and iRefer, who's been a lot of drama around, but he's always on top of his play. And of course Fixes. So that's like, I think it's a really solid team with a lot of talent. Their main thing is they gotta keep the team synergy together. If they keep the team synergy together, I think they're gonna go top 4. I definitely think they will.
You think of top 4? I'm in the same category with Walk It Off as I am with Cloud9. You know, 2 new teams basically that have just been put together to try to, you know, field the best team that they think is possible for the play-ins or the Pro League, which that's smart. I mean, that's what you do in any sport. You have a roster. You think someone's, you know, falling behind, or, you know, you just think your team is just not working out right. You fire the coach, and then you're like, oh, my quarterback sucks. If you're talking football or soccer for Europeans, that we got to get rid of this quarterback. Yes, he might be a big name, but he's just not doing it for us. So I think, you know, Cloud9 and Walk It Off are the 2 teams that have this problem, that they have a young team and they just need to stick with it. Walk It Off, when watching him today, iRefer, amazing plays today. Mox, great player. We got Fresi out there. Sayo, I've always looked up to as a mid laner. I'm a mid laner myself. I'm trying to, you know, excel into that. And I've always looked up to him with his Isis, you know, the Posayo, his Poseidon. He's always been someone I've watched closely from mid lane. So it's very disappointing to me in my eyes to see him go to a different role. But that doesn't mean he's not good at it. I just don't. It's hard for me to see him as a solo laner now. I can see it in his eyes. He's been playing forever. Kind of want to switch it up a little bit, have some more fun. He's got a new team. I think that might be a portion of it, though, that it's going to start off slow, and it's a matter of them accepting getting a few losses and losing some big games in the beginning to stick together as a team and then fight through it and grow and learn from it rather than argue and disband because of it. That's a very crucial thing. So Walk It Off, solid team, has potential, but a maybe top 4 for me. 4 or 5. It's might be the wild cards for them.
Yeah, I think you're right. If they you know, if they just start to change up their roster again, which I think they've like the team probably that changed roster the most times during the weeklies probably. If they do that, they're gonna have a really hard time. They, as you say, they need to stick with this, and then they need to hope to get what they want.
Yeah.
So yeah, then it's the new team. You know, Exposed Secret. Exposed Secret is basically a team of some of the best individual players in the world. You have Salia, you have Shadow Nightmare, you have like it's crazy. Funball has been around for ages.
Awesome ADC.
Both in NA and EU has always been around. They're gonna go with the new support Pain Deviante from
that's right.
5 Angry Men, and who am I missing out on right here?
But you said Azalea, you said Funball, you saw Shadow Nightmare, Pain, and then I feel like he's a younger guy.
Yeah, it's like that's the mid laner.
Why you gotta do this to me?
But you know that. Yeah, Frostjack, exactly. Frostjack all been around for ages, like literally. He was there. It's like at the first Gamescom LAN, he was the youngest guy there. He was okay. I'm Frostjack. Stepped it up, played really well.
Hair.
Yeah, and he got the beast hair.
Yeah.
And you know, these players they're so good individual, but they've been struggling really hard in the weeklies with the team synergy, and they've been steamrolled by teams like i5, who might not be like the best individual players, but their team's synergy and chemistry is just retarded, you know. That's like really good. But lately in the play-ins, there's actually been showed a lot of team synergy and willing to go as a unit and not as individuals. And if they can keep this up, it's like C9 and Walk It Off. It depends. They're probably gonna have a rough first 1 or 2 week, but if they can get over this pace of the game, they are the serious. They I think they could be a serious top 4 contender.
Yeah, it's similar again. So I don't want to ship them off in the same boat as Cloud9 and Walk It Off, but so here's the difference the way I see between this ship and the other ship. Exposed Secrets, as you mentioned, some of the top players in each role in the game available. But are they team players? Is this a team of 5 that can really work together to bring them to victory? After watching them today, yes, I think so. I think they will be a top 4, if not top 3. But as opposed to Cloud9 and Walk It Off, where I'm saying like they just need to, accept a few losses in the beginning and not get down on themselves to not to be able to continue forward. This team's more not so much the internal struggle, but more of the being able to work together as a team and continue that motion. Like I said, this week they've done it. In previous weeks, not so much. If you look in week 1, they lost to Heroes and Zeros in the semifinals, and they lost to Walk It Off, not Walk It Off, to Agilitas in the finals, or the bronze match, sorry. So there's days where they can work as a team, and there's days they can't. And when they don't work as a team, they fall apart. So that's going to be their biggest downfall, is not being able to play as a team. Top 4, if I'm going to put an exact prediction right now, I see them going to the wild cards. But I won't be surprised to see them, if they can make a majority of their games work as a team, I won't be surprised to see them as a number 3 team.
Alright. So yeah, that's like, just waiting with us for a bit. You have, as you're saying, you have so much potential. But NA scene is okay. You got Dignitas, you got Cog Red lately been showing really well. But
Amazing.
in Europe, you have 7 or 8 teams that can compete at this level, and it's crazy because there's nothing consistent. That's also why, like, was it 7 different teams once the weeklies or something, or the 6 different teams? I can't remember. Like,
you got like Agilitas, who if they won their last match against Exposed Secrets, they would have been in the Pro League instead of Exposed Secrets. So that right there is a top contender. If they play through the Challenger Cup, I plan to see them in the wild cards in October. And you do have other teams out there that are still really good. You have Heroes and Zeros. You have I5. Let's not forget about these guys.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned, they are some awesome people. You have Durgis, who is just very positive, and when he plays as positive as he is, just so good. So I see those 2 teams being the top of the Challenger Cup, but I think that's just going to open up eyes to other teams being like, hey, I could be this team too. I mean, I might not be able to beat Walk It or I5, but I don't have to worry about TSM or Cloud9 or SK Gaming, Coast. I don't have to worry about any of those guys, so I'm going to play. And I think by the end of the year, you're going to start seeing even more teams in both regions become above average.
Yeah. So let's move on to us, Team Coast.
Team Coast.
We beat TSM, really surprised. We took second place at our first LAN. It was such an awesome experience, and we have Shaggy Shank the Beast in the ADC role. Like, he's just incredible, right? Then we have Jake, Princess Tomato, we have Corinho and Bobat and Rarity. And myself as a coach, I was actually really impressed by Princess Tomato and Rarity at the LAN events, because they might have not been showing like the best of the best in the weeklies, but they really stepped up their game in the LAN. And Jake had some really awesome calls. Rarity had some really sick plays with some hero action against TSM and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. You have to give your prediction here, because I'm just gonna say, okay, we're gonna win the whole thing, But
well, I love the confidence. Right there is a big sign of you guys. I think the big positive things that you guys have going over all the other teams is I think you guys are the closest family. There's TSM and you, I should say. TSM's a very close family of friends, and like they'll stick together and just keep moving forward as long as they keep their heads up and stay in track of Smite. If they start to get veer off, then who knows what happens. But you guys seem to be just these great kids that are just sticking together, solid players, and you have some great synergy that I haven't really seen with another team at the LAN. Standing behind, as I was admitting, standing behind Corinho and Ninja Bobat mostly. Ninja Bobat is a fantastic jungler. We saw it online, but seeing it in person was like, this guy doesn't seem like he makes a mistake, and he makes a lot of solid calls. He seems to be the most vocal. which I think this is something I forgot to mention throughout this whole interview, is that communication in the team is the thing I see is the most successful. When I'm standing behind SK Gaming, you hear Maniac really making all these calls. You have Reels making all these calls. Like, those guys are the ones making the calls, and they're talking a lot, which helps you paint the whole picture of what's going on in the game. Ninja Bobat was doing that a lot. Princess Tomato, I hear him calling for things. Shaggy Shank's quiet.
Yeah.
But he's in the zone doing his thing. It's like, all right, if being quiet is his thing, then sure. A lot of people said, why is Princess Tomato playing instead of you, EmilZy? Like, you're the better support. Why don't you play instead? But I think he really came to the plate for it. Now, do I see you coming in as a top 2 contender? Maybe. Top 3, yes. I see you going to the LAN in November, without a doubt. But I think there's a lot of inconsistencies that can happen with Coast, where you guys can have a lot of good team fights, but then there could be one person out of position. Let's say it's Corino out of position, gets tagged up, dies, and then let's say Princess Tomato was trying to catch up to him to help him, but it's too late, and then he dies. I see that. I see you guys kind of split up at times. That just hurts you, because if you lose one crucial team fight, as I mentioned with TSM, if they win one crucial team fight, get the Fire Giant, they can push the win. That's the situation you don't want to get caught in, and I think that's what needs to be watched out for Coast.
Yeah. So that's like pretty much the top 6 teams going to the SPL. So yeah. It's gonna be really, really fun, especially for me as a coach. This is gonna make it a lot easier, you know. I can just sit there, alright, okay, so we play CSM this week and SK in the weekend, so I can just stalk them like as retarded as I want, so I don't have to go all the different teams.
Oh, it's great. You're gonna love it. Did you get to take a look at the schedule yet?
No, I actually haven't taken a look. You have to send me that after this.
I sent it to Corino. He should be talking to him. He has it.
Okay.
But let's have some fun before we switch over real quick. Top 1 through 6 at the end of the Pro League. What is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
Okay, so I gotta give my bet.
Yeah, just throw it out there.
If I
is completely unbiased, it's just how you see it in the future.
If I see it in the future, I'll of course yours is number 1, which isn't a surprise, because
sure,
that's how we are, you know. We're going for the win always. I think TSM are just so consistent. They're gonna take the 2nd place. The 3rd place. It's I don't know. It really depends on how Exposed Secret are gonna play it out. It's either gonna be Exposed Secret or SK. I think they're gonna go with the 3rd and 4th place. It's gonna be really close. But if I have to say it, I think Exposed will surprise and get the 3rd place.
Okay.
I think SK will get 4th. They'll have some good matches, some bad matches, but I think they'll get there eventually if they just keep it up. I would say that Walk It Off would probably go 5th. They could beat big teams, but they would just be, I don't know, I think they'll be struggling with chemistry, and I'm afraid that there might be a roster change if they lose like 3 or 4 games, and that's just really gonna screw them over.
Yeah.
And I think the new C9, I think I like the players on the roster, no offense, but it's so many individual really, really skilled players. I think they're gonna be the new Exposed Secret. They need time to get together. I think we should see them at the LAN in November, but I think they'll take the 6th place here. They're not gonna shine the first weeks, but maybe in week 6 or 7 they'll start doing stuff, and they can bring that with them into the LAN. So they're gonna get really slow off, and that's why they're gonna take the 6th place. What? I guess I can't ask you because that's just your.
I'll give you a prediction, but it's just how I see it and what I've seen in the past. Basically, I'm going off the past history of these players that I've seen from 2014, let's say.
Yeah.
And I'll make it quick. I say TSM for 1st. I say SK Gaming for 2nd. I say Coast for 3rd. I say for 4th place. Oof, this one's really tough. 4th place is really tough. It's either Cloud9 or Walk It Off, and I think I'm gonna go. I think I go with Walk It Off. I think we're gonna start to see Walk It Off with this. And then I think it'll be Cloud9 5 and Exposed Secret 6. But I think 6 through 4 are gonna be hot contenders, and I think 3 through 1 in my list will be hot contenders. I think those will be the 2 kind of groups that you'll see in the Pro League.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to be wrong. You know what I mean? Like I look forward to see the classic Europe setup where you just see. I expect Exposed to be 6th. Well, look at this. They are now 8-0 right now in the Pro League. What is this? You know, I won't be surprised if they do well. It's just you just have to accept it.
Yeah, so that's like a prediction. Let's go to something not complete different, but let's say one of these teams has to make a roster change. You know, there's so much talent in the EU ranked scene, for an example. You have also C9 is banned, there are a lot of good players around. If you would have to pick the best non-teamed player, the best player that's like not on a team on the roster, it can be a sub, because the sub is like more likely to change team. But the best sub or player right now in Europe that's without a team.
That's tough. There's a lot of people talking, like walking around, like trying to find new teams or building new teams. Isn't Proxy trying to build like a new secret team?
Yeah, I think he is.
Secret weapon. I mean, Proxy could be one of those players, actually. I don't think he's the player that I'm thinking of right now, but he's certainly one of the players. Other players that I'm thinking of, but again, not the player. I mean, you have Durgis on I5, who will probably stick with I5, but he's just a solid player, and I think he has he could give a lot to any team, really. But I think if I had to think about it, SunTouch. SunTouch has been a player that's been in the scene for a while. He's been to LANs, so having LAN experience is always a big plus. Has great communication skills. Like, he will talk and talk and talk, which is a big plus in my book from when I was a competitive player. And him being in the jungle role and being communicating with people, that's crucial, because he's the one running around and he's going to paint the picture for everybody else that's not in the right lane or who's not in the left lane, whoever. So I'm going to go with SunTouch. I know he's probably on a team right now, probably as a sub or something, but that doesn't mean he can't be picked up by Cloud9 again, or let's say TSM, something happens and they need to replace somebody. I think any team can go very well with SunTouch on their hands. In fact, if I had to say a team that had to go with it, I think Cloud9 could use him. I think Cloud9, with them working with each other in the past, and was pretty successful in the past too. Like, the old Cloud9 was not bad. They just didn't do well at LAN that day. That's fine. If people wanted to split up because internal struggle, that's fine. That's just the way things happen. But I think if that could be put to the side and they could really work with SunTouch, I think Cloud9 would be bumped up from a 4 or 5 team to a 2-3 team if SunTouch is on that team.
Alright, I agree with you, and I was actually really surprised, you know, when we saw SunTouch, when I was like sitting in stream, oh, it's SunTouch, man, he's not that good, he's probably pretty BM, but then you go to LAN, and he's just such a nice guy, he's talking a lot,
Awesome guy, yep.
He's like really cool, you know, and he when you just look at it, he's actually a really good player. So I was like really surprised at LAN. He was like literally the one I didn't thought he was the most BM person, but he was the one that surprises the most in the positive way down there, definitely. But
yeah, he had a lot of fans with him too. Like, when he was there, he was like the #1 person that when people, like the audience, came to the ESL LAN, or I shouldn't call it ESL LAN, at ESL for our LAN. Everyone's like, oh, it's SunTouch, and they're trying to talk with him. He's so friendly. He doesn't get down. He doesn't yell. It doesn't seem to, as far as I've seen, in my encounters with him on Skype or just talking with him in general, he's always been a solid, stand-up, positive guy. So, yeah, I think without a doubt he would be the #1 person that is not on a team that's not in the Pro League or on a team in general, I think.
All right.
I don't know where he's at.
As one, you know, you don't play EU rank, but I play a decent amount of rank. Let's say like 20 games a week or something. So
Okay.
I have a pretty good look into who, also as a coach. I've have to say, if I would have to go with like the best player, there are a lot of really good talented players. There is Sub QQ, for an example. He's been around for ages. I guess he doesn't count because he said that he don't want to play competitive, but he's such a beast, man. He's an incredible ADC, he's an incredible jungler. You probably haven't heard of him because it's Sub QQ. He's never played competitive, I don't believe.
Yeah.
And
no,
then
I don't know much about the rank scene in Europe.
yeah, and then there's like good players, you know, there's a guy called Ario, there's a guy called Jiffy. They're also really solid players. But if I would have to go with one, I don't know. there's also EmilZy now, who's probably gonna be subbed. He could
Dazer?
look to go with another team. You know, I think I have to go with the cheese option, and I'm gonna say sub QQ. But you have to watch this guy stream, and I'm like, he's such a beast. He get like 30-40
I'll
viewers.
seriously write it down right now.
It's Twitch TV/sub QQQ, I believe. He's shy. He doesn't talk on the stream. He writes in chat, but his gameplay and his music is something this is the guy I like watching. He's positive. He rarely BMs, and he just plays really well and interacts really well with the chat. So I have to say, if sub QQ wants to go competitive, he could definitely be in a top 3 team, as so much talent we have. But we just have so many talented players in the EU
So
scene.
many players, you're right. Now, do you know anything about Proxy's secret team that he has going on?
I think
Is sub on it? I mean, it's Proxy QQ, sub QQ, like...
No,
could he be this?
I don't think so, right? Because they're just different players. QQQ. There's a lot of guys called QQ in the EU scene actually, but I think it's Proxy and Yuketsu and then 3 other guys. I'm not really sure. I heard something about it, but I think it's gonna be fun to see them in what is it called, the play-ins or whatever?
No, the Challenger Cup.
Oh yeah, the Challenger Cup. The Challenger Cup. It's gonna be fun because that's also gonna be one of the team you have to look out for, because they, you know, Proxy looks like a really BM person, but he can get a team together, and he's a really nice guy in real life. And if he can get this team together, it's gonna be serious to like see how good they're gonna be. So it's gonna be.
He has leadership experience.
Yeah, exactly.
He was known as a BM player in the past, but I keep an eye on a lot of player accounts and all, and he's certainly cleaned up his act. He's been very friendly to me this whole year of 2014. I saw him at the launch tournament. I certainly, that's why I keep bringing up his team, is because I know he has the potential. I know he's a great leader, and I completely forgot about when I was talking about the Challenger Cup. When I was saying what Agilitas and I5 are going to be the top 2. Forgot about Proxy's team. He could be a top 2. So yeah, we're going to start to see some good competition in the Challenger Cup as well. And then if you say that the players that you mentioned from ranked, if they decide to take the step and, you know, realize, hey, if I'm just a top 2 team in the Challenger Cup and 6 of the best teams are out of the Challenger Cup, and I have a chance to go to a $600,000 LAN in Atlanta, Georgia, you're crazy not to try to, you know, compete.
I think, just to round it off a bit, it's gonna be awesome. But I think one thing that's gonna be crazy, it's gonna be the Challenger Cup. That's like the semis and finals are really gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah.
And the wildcard round robin or whatever it is, that's gonna be absolutely amazing, because there's just gonna be it's gonna be really good gameplay.
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna expect ties too. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's always crazy to do like tiebreakers, like what's the right way to do it and all. But I think we found the best way to do it, and I'm already planning for it. Like I planned on it for these past play-ins. Well, I dodged that bullet. There was no tiebreakers to really accommodate for. But without a doubt, like what you're getting at is the wild cards are gonna be so close that there's no chance of it not being a tie.
I agree. The teams are gonna put so much will and so much, like, they want this so hard. They're gonna play 110% all of the teams. And if you want to watch someone play their asses out and make plays all the time, I think it's gonna be retarded at there, because this is the last chance you got so far. You gotta be top 2 out of these 4 teams. That's really good.
Oh, there's gonna be so much on the line there, because yeah, you get an invite to a LAN, you get to come to, you get to play against all the other 5 top teams in the league. You get to watch them, and then when you are qualified there, the top 2 go to Atlanta, Georgia. They get to play for what's probably gonna be over $1 million for a prize pool. With that Odyssey coming out, I totally see lots of money coming out of it getting donated to the prize pool. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. Alright, I think that was about it. Thank you so much, APC, for joining me here.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
And yeah, this was our prediction on the teams, our build players, a bit about the EU scene. So yeah,
a good little overlook of the Pro League and the Challenger Cup.
So yeah, see you guys later.